Geekazine and Geek Smack is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network over at techpodcast.com. If it's tech, then it's here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is another episode of Geek Smack, episode number 206. And this week, we're going to be talking a little bit about Yahoo. Of course, we've got a whole bunch of other news. We're going to be talking about the Google Plus for business. We're going to be talking about Facebook getting back on track. We've got some geek stuff, and of course, we've got the Geek Smack crap. So sit back, grab your popcorn, grab your kids, grab your soda, grab the couch, grab the remote, and throw it away, because it's time for another Geek Smack crap, or Geek Smack, and it's brought to you by our friends over at GoToMeeting. Go over to gotomeeting.com and click the Try It Free Now button. Enter in the word podcast for a 30-day free trial. Roku, stop dreaming, start streaming, prices as low as $49, and it even got the HBO Go this week, and that's over at geekazine.com/Roku. And then, of course, we got Telestream. If you're creating content like me and you want to try a program like Wirecast, go over to geekazine.com/Wirecast PC or Wirecast Mac, depending on which version you have. And then, of course, listen to all your shows like the Geek Smack podcast over at Stitcher by going over to stitcher.com/geek, and you could win yourself $100. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get in your Geek Smack for the week. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the show that never quits, and that's the Smack of the Geek Smack, where we smack the geek like we would smack a nap with a nice inflatable bed. Yes, they make nice inflatable beds, and I get to sleep. Might have been better than the bed I slept on last week. Oh, wow. Hey, a week off, but not a week off from content. Got a lot of great stuff coming your way from Blog World New Media Expo. Of course, on Tuesday, I went to Detroit, and we went to see really cool stuff at the Ford building. What was best was it was 8:30 at night, and actually, about 8:30 at night on Tuesday, and took us into a building that we've normally been in for different demos and stuff like that, and they started talking, and they showed off the ST models, which, of course, we can talk about freely now. But then they said, let's come outside and take a look at this one vehicle, and we said, okay. So we went outside. It was nice and dark outside, and they had this little tape lined up. It's like whatever. And all of a sudden, these lights blasted on, and then they blasted off, and we heard some rum, rum, rum in the background. And we saw 5 things that's all I can talk about right now. And I'll tell you something. I was completely impressed. They turned the lights on, then they turned them off, and then those 5 things kind of disappeared like magic in the hand. Of course, there are things I can talk about. Of course, we posted the article over on Geekazine about the MyFord Touch and the upgraded boxes inside the MyFord Touch system, the Microsoft Sync system. They made the interface a little bit easier to use, which is great. I got all that up on Geekazine.com, so check that out. And the best part is it's an upgrade for everybody that's got the MyFord Touch system. If you've got that system in your car, you'll either get a USB drive, which you can update yourself. It takes about 45 minutes. Or you can go to the dealership and they'll do it for you for free. And that's the best part there. So anyway, you can check that out over at geekazine.com. Then after Ford, flew out and I went to LA, Los Angeles, California. And yeah, I was a Beverly Hillbilly. Something like that. But anyway, I did go and I had a lot of fun over in Los Angeles. My first night, I stayed in a hotel out of the downtown area. And I'm going to tell you something, if you're a little bit nervous about strange areas, then maybe that's not the place that you want to stay. And this is like 10, 20 blocks away. I'm not, it's not a good or bad dig on anybody out there. The bottom line is that it's just a little bit scary for some people who don't know about this, about Los Angeles. But I had a lot of fun. And then I went to the Sheraton, and we went to Blog World, and I did a lot of video for Stitcher. The Voices of New Media, of course, the audio versions are playing right now on Stitcher.com. You can go over there and then listen to them. I think John Chambers from 1 Minute Podcast. There's like 5 or 6 that we have up there. They're going to be putting up more in the next day or two. but we're going to have them all up, including some of the interviews I did. And then I'm going to start posting the videos starting tomorrow on Geekazine.com. Of course, I'll have links to the audio if you want that too. But that's basically it. That was a fun weekend. Got back, left on Sunday. American Airlines overbooked the flight. In fact, it seemed to be a common thing all during the week. Oh, we overbooked our flight by 3. We need 3 volunteers to go to the next flight. I volunteered, and I didn't get on the next flight, and I stayed overnight. I got compensated for it, which is the only saving grace, and it's probably going to be the way I'm going to get to CES, which is great. But it's just a little bit frustrating when you get to the airport and you don't even know what seat you're going to be in, and there's a possibility you might be shuttled onto the next plane because they oversold or whatever they did. But it was just every flight, every time we walked up to a terminal, we oversold by so many seats. And that's never happened before. I mean, it has happened, but not to that extent, which was really, really weird and frustrating. So a couple more things, and then we're getting into your Tech Smack and Geek Smack. Of course, you're seeing right here, got a nice little gift from OWC. It's an SSD drive. Take a look at that. And so I'm going to be putting that in. It's a 30-day review model. So I'm going to be putting that into a machine, and we're going to test how fast it is. Might even put it on this machine, since that's only a dual core, and see what the speeds are. And of course, we have the Blog World Pass. I'm going to try and not gloss it over. It's got exhibitor on the bottom because I was technically an exhibitor this time around for Stitcher.com. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of course, with the badges, we put it into the badge area. So let's go and do that right now. Nice and prominent in the badge area. We've got a lot of different badges from TechCrunch Disrupt, from HP events, from CES, and of course, Blog World New Media Expo. So with that said, and with that done, and with that everything else, let's get into your Tech Smack.
Tech Smack.
All right, Tech Smack. We're going to start over at the BBC 7. I don't know if it's BBC 7 or BBC 1 or BBC 3. There's a malicious application in iTunes Store that says, hey, it's like a stock quote thing, and then it's kind of stealing stuff from your system. So they're saying that they're doing it to teach people that malware can exist in iTunes. Well, no, duh, they've already done that. If you remember about a year and a half ago, they basically took one whole content provider, one person that's made tons of apps, and they just took all the apps out of the App Store because they found that they were malicious. So to teach us a lesson in the iTunes Store, unless they were just playing on the words there, it's kind of stupid. So don't test us. Don't say, we just want you to understand what's going on. I forgot to fix that, didn't I? I just want you to understand what's going on. No, why? It doesn't make any sense to me. Does not make a single piece of sense to me. That's all I'm saying here. So anyway, if you want to check that out, go over to bbc.co.uk. I just realized I have some Halloween decoration I need to get rid of. That's how I do it. Anyway, let's move from there. Over on Huffington Post Tech, Google Plus. Have you tried the Google Plus business? Of course, I set up the Google Plus Geekazine and Google Plus Day in Tech history pages. It was pretty much just like Facebook. You go to a page and it says you want to start your own page. You press yes, and you start putting in pages. It treats it like a page, like if you were actually creating your page once again, which I'm not sure I like too much, because for the business, I want it to be geared a little bit differently. It just feels like another page. But it's all well and good, but with over 1 billion unique visitors a month, I could take that. I could use some more traffic. So I set up Geekazine and I set up Day in Tech History. I'm hoping that there's going to be some sort of aggregator so my RSS feeds can then push into Google Plus. But in the meantime, I'm probably just going to have to right-click on the link and copy it and paste it into whichever one I have. But it will separate the shows a little bit more. And, of course, you subscribe to Geekazine, you subscribe to Day in Tech History. I'll tell you what, and I didn't bring them down here. we just got some new mice. So I think what I'm gonna do is anybody that's on Google Plus right now, go over to the Geekazine on Google Plus, and then subscribe, and then of course we'll give away. I think we'll give away one of these wireless. It's a little wireless USB mouse. Really nice if you have a laptop out there. You need a new one. And so we're gonna be checking them out, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about those mice later. But we'll give away one of them this week, and maybe one next week. Got a couple other cool gifts and some new swag that we're gonna give away, probably over on the YouTube side, and we're gonna do a couple more giveaways for the Twitter followers and stuff like that. Little appreciation gifts for all of you out there. Thank you very, very much. But in the meantime, what do you think of business? Have you started adding some of the business apps? I hope it doesn't hit to that because we have a 5,000 follow ceiling, and I'm close to 5,000 follows. And if businesses are part of that 5,000, I'm pretty much not going to be able to follow too much or unfollow. I'm going to have to unfollow some people. But let me know what you think. Geekazine@gmail.com or Twitter me at Geekazine. That's interesting. Anyway. Just noticed that the screen's big. Anyway. HuffingtonPost.com for that. On the same aspect, over on Robert Scoble's website, the Scobleizer. I wish I never heard of Google Plus's brand pages. And he's calling them out, basically. He says that one person can only own or post to an account. Unlike Facebook, with a Facebook group, you can assign admins to it. And if one person decides, hey, I'm leaving because I don't like the way you're doing this stuff, and I'm taking this thing with me, there's gonna be a lawsuit. There's gonna be issues. So there's a list here. No way to add team members. No way to see who's following such an account. If you are the owner, it's extremely easy to post something by accident in your company account, and so on and so forth. So, and of course, Robert Scoble is one of the voices to Rackspace.com, and so it makes sense. I've done it. I've been on in Facebook. I've been on a page, and then I posted. I thought I was posting for myself, and it turned out I was posting for the group, and I didn't like that. I wanted it to post to myself. It's kind of an inverted way, but the bottom line, the same result comes to play. It posts the wrong thing. So. But anyway, if you want to read more about that, go over to scobleizer.com. Scobleizer.com. Like how I said that? I don't know. Anyway, what do you think? The tie down, is it helping? It's a little bit more manageable on my end. So, but if I wear a coat, it gets caught in the zipper. Anyway, you probably just go, what? You're listening. You go, what the heck are you talking about? You're gonna have to watch to find out. Anyway, let's go over to digitimes.com. They found out that overstocked inventory LCD TV panels in 2011 has caused some pressure, and they're basically saying that they estimate global shipments of LCD TV panels will show a decrease compared to the figures in 2010. Now that's kind of on the line there. Things go up and down. New technology comes out, LCD to LED to OLED. Still have the little LCD. I'm not sure how that all works, because LCD technology is technically certain parts of LCD technology is part of LED technology. So anyway, according to Research Institute's total shipment of LCD TV panels from Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and China should be around 207.8 million units. Now, 2 weeks ago, we talked about, I think it was Samsung, and how it was Sony, how they're redesigning their division. And LCD panels was one of them. And I think they saw these figures, and they said, we need to focus so we can get as much revenue as possible. So, well, I don't know. We'll see what happens as we go. Of course, if you want to read more on this, go over to digitimes.com. Firefox 8 launches, and a lot of people are happy. Let me ask you a question. Have you used Firefox lately? I'm pretty much switched over to Chrome myself. Not too happy with Chrome on certain aspects, but it's the best of all the worlds, I think so. New version comes 6 weeks after Firefox 7, which is really odd. They've been just coming, and so Firefox 9 should be next week. By the way, they're doing all this. So, Mac, Linux, Windows available, and it comes with Twitter search integration, on-demand tab loading, and more WebGL graphics hardware acceleration support. The biggest problem that I've had with Firefox as of late, it's simply the fact that it has problems loading, and downloading was even atrocious. In fact, that's probably one of my top articles that people read is about Firefox and their issues. And that was back in Firefox 4. And 5 and 6 better, but not to the point where I'd want to go back to Firefox. We'll see what happens with Firefox 8. I think they need to get on the game, of course, because they lost to Chrome about, a month back? And they're going to lose big even more if they don't try and figure out a way to integrate and make people want to switch back. Now, on the Day in Tech History, we talked a year ago, there was a browser called Rockmount, which was a great browser that you could integrate your social networks like Facebook and, MySpace and other types of social networks there. So maybe Firefox has got to do something like this Rockmelt browser did and really shake up the group. But we'll see. In the meantime, if you want to read, check this out. Go over to PCMag.com. All right, the tablet wars are really starting to heat up. Of course, Barnes and Noble came out with the Nook tablet. I don't know how it's different from the Color Nook. I think it's a little bit bigger in size. $250 computer, and it's going to compete with Amazon's Kindle Fire, and of course the iPad. It's they said same 7-inch IPS screen. Now, if I remember the specs correctly, it had a decent processor, but and I suppose with $250, it's not a bad tablet. But I always said with the iPad, why should I buy a $500 tablet or a $250 tablet for $500? Of course, it's Apple, and there's always inflated prices in the tablet. That's just how that works, or PCs for that matter. That's just how it works. You buy quality, not quantity. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how the tablet wars start to really ramp up in this holiday season. I played with the Nook. I'm going to tell you something. From what I played with the Color Nook, it was very comparable. And I didn't play too many games. I didn't watch too many movies. I'd like to have a week's worth of time on the tablet and see if I can really get some good numbers out of it. Netflix has endorsed it, and of course Hulu Plus has also endorsed it, so it can run some video there. And we'll just see what happens. If you've got one, let me know. Geekazine@gmail.com or Twitter me @Geekazine. Tell me what you think, what you don't think about the Color Nook. If you want to let me borrow it for a week, I'd be very grateful for that, and I'll try and keep it nice and clean with no caffeine, and test it out from there. But in the meantime, Device, DVICE, it's a sci-fi channel.com, and you can go from there. Going over to Computer World, Facebook has said that they're rebounding from their May slump, which is when Google Plus started to show its face here. So, but in the past 5 months, things have been down a little bit, and Google Plus has been going, well, geez, I don't know, maybe Google Plus is kind of getting it. But anyway, so this on computerworld.com, they're saying that Facebook has gained about 6,581,000 active U.S. users, according to data from their advertising tool. And as you can see on the numbers, on May 1st, 155,200,000 Facebook users went up to 155,981,460 users. So people are still using the service. Once again, it's not going to go away anytime soon. I mean, businesses have adopted Facebook models. That's going to be tough for Google to snatch that up, especially with their very light version of business tool. That API really needs to be written, and they really need to start doing the integration. Toot sweet. As a reader, I don't want to see it happen, but if Google Plus wants to compete with Facebook, they've got to find a way. Again, you got to have a way for somebody to post something without having to copy and paste and go over to the next website and copy and paste, because they're going to stop and they're not going to go to Google Plus. They're just going to stay on Facebook and Twitter. So, my opinion. Anyway, computerworld.com, you can check that out. All right, last part of the Tech Smack. And ladies and gentlemen, this is actually, I've thought about this for a while. Hackers, prison doors are pretty much controlled through software. And if you can get into the software, you could easily get into and open prison doors. And that's what they're talking on here. They did a research, and they said a team of researchers recently presented the results of some work they did that involved time in a basement, $2,500, and no previous experience with the type of industrial control systems to program the controllers the prison used. They got malware loaded onto the computer system, and they could be remotely controlled, and they were opening and closing doors. So, ladies and gentlemen, now, to get to that level is kind of tough. I'm not going to say impossible, but tough. But because you've got a lot of locked doors. It's not like you can just waltz in there and put something into the system. Most guards don't even have access to the whole prison. Now, I actually worked in a prison system for Wisconsin Department of Corrections. We were escorted. There was supervision everywhere. And that would be a really tough thing to do, to get something into that main computer that opens and closes the doors. But they say it can be done. So take it with a small grain of salt. But, it would have to be Mission Impossible type situation for somebody to be able to set that up and do a remote on that. And trust me, prisons also do signal sweeps, which means that they can see if somebody's using some sort of signal inside and trace that signal. So even if they could open the doors, it's not going to be much longer that issue is going to be resolved. So anyway, in the meantime, we're not going to be opening the prison doors. I'm just going to be letting myself out of the insane asylum. We got more of Geekazine and the Geek Smack coming up. And of course, let's do it right after this. It's online meetings made as easy as pie, P-I-E. That means going up and eating some pie and enjoying yourself some GoToMeeting by Citrix. Seriously, no, it's a great program. Use it all the time. It's one of those programs you can't do without because, you're here, they're there, and what do? You got to meet people. And even if you're in the same office, there's times where Joe has to go up north to do something for maybe a client or something like that. He could be sitting in a coffee shop at the time you're actually doing the meeting, which then you're going, well, Joe, why couldn't we have met here and done this? Get up on Citrix, get up on GoToMeeting. He says, there's no reason why. So then you do it and everything's all good. It's a great program, and I can't speak higher of it because it's a program that saved me many a times from a meeting and having to drive somewhere. GoToMeeting, don't take my word for it. 30-day free trial. 30 days for free. Make as much business as you can. Make as much money as you can. And you'll see the power of GoToMeeting. Plus, with the HD faces, you'll see a face like mine. Nice, shining face. That way, if you start explaining something to me, I go like this, and they go, And they go, yeah, Jeff, you don't understand what's going on here. What don't I understand? I say, well, there's this one part that just I don't get. And if you think think that's silly, that actually did happen last week. I was sitting in a meeting and they were explaining. It's like, and this was a social media thing, and they go, you kind of gotta take it in a different direction. And they got confused, and I was confused for a little bit. But we were looking at each other's faces, and I think that's what really clued us in that there was a problem, and we fixed the problem, and then we went from there. And that's the best part about GoToMeeting with HD faces, crystal clear clarity. And of course, you can get up to 6 people into the HD faces. You can do more than 6 people into the meeting, but of course, 6 faces at a time. And of course, you can share your screen, share the desktop, and so much more. It's a great program. Don't take my word for it, though. Go over to GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free Now button, and enter in that code podcast for the 30-day free trial. Try it free now and enter in the code podcast for a 30-day free trial of GoToMeeting by Citrix. Meet smarter with GoToMeeting. Geek Smart Crowd. All right, ladies and gentlemen, guess what I got? Look what I got right here. It's the new edition, the Sky Mall. Sky Mall in flight. Woo! Sky Mall delight. Whoop. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how Geek Smack crap started. By looking at a Sky Mall and looking at all the Geek Smack crap in here. So when you're on an airplane, check this out because there's a lot of ideas that you can use in here. Like for instance, let's open it up. And we've got some glass auto restorer, I guess, for your glassware, which is pretty cool. We've got an advanced electronic crossword puzzle dictionary, the 14-gallon portable gas pump in case you need it. It's right there, right there. There we go. But here's the two things that I want to show. First of all, the iPhone desktop handset. It looks like, yeah, I know I'm trying to really, there we go. It looks like a regular handset for your phone, but in all reality, it's you hook up your iPhone to it, and of course you can use it like a regular phone. And then of course the Christmas tree. This is called the Kincaid pop-up 6-foot Christmas tree, and it's $199.95. There it is, right there. And look at that. It collapses right into. I can't see it. There we go. Collapses right into a small 5-inch high pile. And of course, if you got the lights and everything like that on there, LED lights and so on and so forth. But this is the magazine that I flipped through that made me think of Geek Smack crap. So I'm going to have links to those products up on Geek Smack crap. I'm going to tell you, there's another product right here. Let me just set this over here. It's also Movember, mustache or facial hair awareness month. Basically, they want you to grow your facial hair for prostate cancer. I don't know how that's going to solve prostate cancer, but you know, I don't know. But if you don't want to grow facial hair or you can't grow facial hair, well, you can buy facial hair, and that's where this comes in. This is over on the Geek store. It's 36 pieces, so you'll have one mustache a day, and of course they're all self-adhesive. This was meant for Halloween, but since this is in the mustache month, we're just going to throw it into the weird category. $6.69, and you get 36 mustaches in different sizes, shapes, and styles. But if you don't want to put a mustache on your face, maybe you can put one on your finger. That's where the Gamma Go Finger Stash temporary tattoos come. And so you can get different mustaches, and of course you put them onto your finger. I don't know how you're going to do that long mustache on the bottom right. How that would work on as a tattoo. Would you have like the whole hand? So you'd have to be something like this, and that would do it, or I don't know. But there's my mustache right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's your Geek Smack crap, the Thanksgiving edition, and hopefully you found some cool stuff for the month of November. If you got any questions on that, of course, let me know. Twitter me at Geekazine.com. Stop dreaming, start streaming. That's what Roku says, and I completely agree with them. The Roku 2 is like the cat's meow to anything for live streaming any kind of content, whether it be your Netflix, your Amazon, maybe this show, possibly this show, and a whole lot more. And that's the beauty of Roku. And now they still have the 3 flavors up on Roku's website, but there's actually now the 4th flavor. For as little as $49, you can get yourself a Roku over-the-top television system so you can stream direct to your TV, your Netflix, your Hulu Plus, the Tech Podcast Network, Twit, Coldcast, you have Fast Pitch, HBO Go is coming to the Roku, and a whole lot more. You got a lot of great options. It's a great little box, and I use it all the time. When I watch over-the-top television, when I'm upstairs relaxing, I'm watching it on a Roku because I can access the stuff, and then every now and then I can just play some Angry Birds. That's at the $99 level, but you do have that option to get that. So prices start at $49, so it's a great holiday gift. So go over to geekazine.com/Roku. Of course, that's going to help Geek Smack and all the Geekazine properties. Geekazine.com/Roku. And you can find out how you can get yourself a Roku Entertainment Center for as little as $49 and no more than $99. It's the all-new Roku 2, and that's geekazine.com/Roku.
Geek Smack.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time to get to the geek side of things, where we're going to geek your smack and smack your geek like we've never smacked your geek before. And we're going to geek out on all this. Yeah, I'm using it, geek out. If you don't know what that is, basically what I'm doing is I'm trying this new little idea. It's called Geek Out. Geek, G, out, O. And of course, I debuted it last week on the .tv network when I was being interviewed by CC Chapman. It was great. So everybody geek out. It's time to geek out with the geek and the geek smack of, and this is actually geek smack of the geek smack portion of the show. Anyway, we're going to start over at Huffington Post. There's an Alabama convenience store that wants to give you your meat via a vending machine. They put it into the Odenville, Alabama convenience store at Little Mart. So basically, it's just like a vending machine. You see that steak, it's like, hey, that looks good. So you go and you press the button, you slide the door open, and you grab the meat. Now, pretty interesting stuff. I don't know how they're gonna do that. They accept cash, debit, and credit cards. There's got to be something in that system that's good that can tell precisely what the temperature of that case is gonna be, because there's a lot of foodborne issues in there. Of course, all the meat is in there is sealed up. So just like you would have a sandwich at a regular vending machine. So would we start seeing them in our workplaces? You know, you got the soda machine, you got the vending machine, you got the meat machine. Probably not, but pretty cool stuff. They've got a couple pictures over on Huffington Post. It's reposted from CBS News 42, so you can check that out over at HuffingtonPost.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. This is what's the company? We've dealt with talked about this company for other things, but this is actually a new little idea. It's called the Coach's Eye, and when I saw it today, I was really impressed. Basically, what they're saying is, you take the iPhone, you have the buddy take the picture of you doing the golf swing, playing the game, the football game, the baseball game, checking out the swing. The Coach's Eye is actually going to show you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. So it can give you an answer, and you don't have to guess. And from what it says is it knows about many different sports. So, you know, whether you're playing basketball, you're playing baseball, you're playing cricket, which, how many people know how to play cricket? Really? You know how to play cricket? I don't know if I know how to play cricket. But anyway, if you're swinging the mallet wrong, you're swinging the bat wrong, or swinging the tennis racket wrong, it's going to tell you and show you. So that's the Coach's Eye. I was really impressed with this one. So for all you coach geeks out there, somebody like over at Podcast Pickle, Gary over at Podcast Pickle, who does the Fast Pitch TV show, check out the Coach's Eye, because it's a pretty cool thing right there. So, not a news article, but a very interesting note. Day in Tech History. I got a phone call from a person who's technically part of the Day in Tech History. We're going to be talking about him on November 19th in 1993. He's and that's I'm just going to kind of give you the little trailer out there. And but we're going to be sitting there and we're going to be talking about his little part in tech history. And we're going to do a 5-minute interview. And I'm going to post that at dayintechhistory.com. For all you tech history geeks, this is going to be a pretty interesting video interview, so you can check that out then. That's when I'm going to post it. So, all right, let's move over to PCMag.com. Apparently, in iOS 5, there was a hidden panorama feature. And you can get to it. 9 to 5 Mac reports that you can go in. You have to have a jailbroken phone. You run a specific program, and you'll be able to get into the options to do panoramic photos. How well they work, I don't know. That's a different story. But if you don't wish to jailbreak your phone, they say there is an array of panorama mode apps available in the App Store. I use, I think it's called iPhone 360. Let me check here really quick. I got too much open right now. There we go. The program is called, 360, which was it takes a a panoramic shot of around the room, and I gotta like move the camera around to see where it's going. You can kind of see that a little bit of my studio. So, but anyway, it's a pretty cool app. But you know, if I could get it natively on the iPhone, I might use that a little bit more, especially since it might stitch it a little bit better. We'll see what happens. We'll go over to PCMag.com if you want to read more. Moving from there, let's go over to Lifehacker. They got a interesting article, How I Can Protect My Job While Protesting. For some of you that are out at Occupy Wall Street, you might be wondering how your job is doing. We had to, when we were out with the Wisconsin thing up at the Capitol, a lot of people went on their spare time, their free time, vacation time. But you know, you gotta be careful, because you could lose your job if you protest too much because you're not coming back to work. And so just a little thing. So watch your job if you want to keep your job. If you don't care about your job, then never mind. But if you're concerned, read this article over on lifehacker.com. I'm almost ready for that nap. I really am. So when I went over to Business Unusual, I checked this out. And I was like, I wish I would have had this in LA in that first hotel room. It's a portable napping bed. It's totally inflatable, and it looks like it comes. Actually, you know, it looks like it comes with a little shade thing. But I bet you if I flip it on its side, I could have it like a walls around me, so I could sleep, and not look up to nothing but a inflatable part of the bed. But it's over on Business Unusual. If you need a place to nap, maybe you have it in your office. You can't have a couch, but you have room for something like this. You could sit there and inflate it, which of course it'll take about 20-30 minutes to inflate, and then you'll be more tired, and then you'll fall asleep a little bit better. So it's the portable napping bed that's over on, for all you napping geeks out there, and that's over at Business Unusual. Finally, let's go back over to Huffington Post. Yeah, you're reading that right. Porn is Ryanair's new in-flight entertainment. You're going, what are you talking about? It's like they're talking about an article by The Sun. They said that iPads and smartphones that could allow passengers playing games, gamble, or even watch pornographic videos. Well, technically, if you get it with Wi-Fi, if you have the Wi-Fi and they haven't blocked that website that does something, I suppose you could actually get some sort of questionable movie, like 9.5 weeks with all the gratuitous shots, and even, you could even download a movie and watch it on a plane. What are they going to do? I mean, somebody's going to be offended, and they're going to ask you to turn it off. You get one of these, one of these hats. You remember this hat, the TV hat, right here? And then you could put the iPhone in the little thing right here, and you can watch it through here. It's possible. I'm just going to set this down for now. There we go. Hi. So a lot of people, and they're saying that this could actually be a feature for some airlines. So maybe you have a whole bunch of adults. You're making a party bus plane or something, and you want to have Ryanair in there. And they're trying. It's an application. You can try it. So see what happens. If you want to read more on that, it's HuffingtonPost.com. But I don't know. Would you watch porn at 30,000 feet in the air? Does that really trip your trigger or anything like that? Let me know. Geekazine@gmail.com, or Twitter me at Geekazine. Of course, you can go over to 608-205-4378 if you want to call me. How novel. Call me. Anyway, we've got one more thing we're going to be talking about, Yahoo here, and we'll do that right after this break. This is Geek Smack. This is the Geekazine Weekly Smack Show. Whatever. Okay, we'll be right back. Of course, we support Stitcher and Stitcher.com because they got a great program over there. You can listen to your podcasts like the Geekazine, Geek Smack Show, The Day in Tech History, and a whole bunch of other podcasts on the go through your mobile device, whether it be an Apple device, whether it be an Android device, whether it be a BlackBerry device, whether it be a Web OS device. You've got multiple options and a great program in Stitcher. Plus, they have a whole lot more over on Stitcher.com. But the cool thing is you can win yourself $100. How do you do that? By going over to Stitcher.com/geek. Stitcher.com/geek, and that will get you an entry once you put in the promo code GEEK, and then, of course, enter in your email address, and that'll get you an entry into the chance to win $100. And they draw $100 at the end of each month, so it's a pretty cool little device. And even if you already have it, go download it again and win yourself $100. That's over at Stitcher.com/geek. And of course, that helps the Geekazine podcasts and Geek Smack. So check it out and become more mobile with your podcasts on the go with Stitcher. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the main thing. Yahoo has recently gone off the wagon, gone off the reservation, gone somewhere. I don't know if it's just pride in Jerry Yang's work or whatnot, but he's trying to save a company that really can't be saved anymore. And that's the bottom line right now. It can't be saved anymore. He's trying, but they got rid of this Meg Ryan, which I thought was a great move. Don't get me wrong. But they haven't replaced her with another CEO. Basically, Jerry Yang, who was technically ousted as a CEO 3 years ago, back in 2008, late of 2008, which is why they found Carol Bartz. Did I say Meg Whitman? I meant Carol Bartz. Get that name mixed up every now and then. But the whole point is that Jerry Yang, who was ousted as CEO before, is now heading things up again. And if I was a stockholder of Yahoo, I'd be really upset. And that's what this person is. His name is Daniel Loeb. And USA Today reports that Daniel Loeb, who owns 5.2% of Yahoo, is really upset at how Jerry Yang is handling the business right now. Especially because of the fact that they're looking into controlling share through a bunch of different buyout firms. Now, whatever they're going to do with it, I don't know. Maybe they will piece it apart and sell it. But Daniel's really concerned that Yahoo's not trying to get his best dollar. And ever since 2008, when Microsoft tried to buy Yahoo and we had the whole Google, whatever you want to call them, scandals, a lot of stockholders, a lot of people that own stock in Yahoo lost a lot of money. Jerry Yang played a deck of cards in a game that we had no idea how he played it. And that's the only analogy I could really come up with. We're all thinking he's playing Go Fish. He's trying to play Texas Hold'em or something like that. Figure out your analogy and put it in there. That's what Jerry Yang was doing. He was playing with your money. I'd personally, if I had stock in Yahoo, I'd probably just turn around and say, Yahoo, this isn't worth it anymore. In fact, I've done that with different companies. I've done that with Sprint last year. I didn't like the way that they were going. I got out. I don't like the way Yahoo is going. I get out. Daniel Loeb, get out. Get out before the stock loses anymore. Maybe he's waiting for that magic moment where Microsoft buys it and all of a sudden that stock becomes tenfold again. And it's possible. But the reality is Daniel might lose out completely on the stock. So he's going to take Jerry Yang to task, maybe sue him because he's got some credibility now because he's basically taking him to task right now. So if Yahoo goes belly up, there's somebody to blame. In the meantime, Yahoo needs to get a direction. They need to get a direction now, and they need to get a direction fast. Maybe they need a new CEO in this interim before they sell it. I don't know. I'm not a stock person. I don't own companies, so I can't tell you. Well, besides Geekazine, but that's a different story. What do you do? What do you do with a multi-billion-dollar company that has a name that means 1999 and not 2011? Do you rename it? Do you sell it? Do you do something? I don't know. What do you think? Email me, geekazine@gmail.com, or Twitter me, @Geekazine. Because it's not going away anytime soon. And Yahoo's playing with people's money, like Daniel Loeb's. Anyway. That's it. That's all I got for Geek Smack. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, once again, Twitter me @Geekazine. Geekazine@gmail.com. They don't change. They don't change one bit. I'd like to thank everybody that has helped out and has talked to me in the last week. I'd like to thank everybody that was at Blog World and all the cool connections that I got. I'd like to thank some of the companies, OWC, for the hard drive here. We're going to be testing it out in the next day or so. And of course, SkyMall for making all of that cool Geek Smack crap possible, or at least the thought of that. So, of course, Geekazine's under a Creative Commons no derivative license, which means you can give this to your friends' friends, and your friends' friends. But if you sell it to your friends' friends, I need a percentage from it. So, we'll be back next week with another Geek Smack crap, and another Tech Smack for you. My name is Jeffrey Powers. You can find everything on Geekazine and, of course, the Day in Tech History over at www.dayintechhistory.com. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Google+. Follow me, and I will follow you. I will follow you wherever you will go. And yes, I'm growing the beard a little bit longer. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks a lot for watching. We will see you next week on another episode of Geek Smack, and until then, take care.